There's some disturbing breaking news coming in from Guwahati that we're getting to you first, an exclusive here on India Today. A tragic and destructive collision of aircraft has been averted at the Guwahati airport. Two Indigo Airlines flights almost collided at the Guwahati airport yesterday. 6 people were injured after this terrifying near miss at that particular airport. The information we have is that an aircraft departing from the Guwahati airport and headed towards Chennai, and there was another aircraft that had just landed coming in from Mumbai, and while taxiing there was a very, very close collision call in which 6 people have been injured. Both the aircraft have been grounded at this point of time, and an inquiry has been ordered. It could have been a much worse tragedy. There have been extremely terrifying tragedies involving aircraft, not just in the air, but also on the ground, in which hundreds of people have been killed in the past. I quickly want to go across to India Today's Manogya Loiwal to get us more on this disturbing story. Manogya, what else do we know? How did this happen?
Shiv, as you rightly pointed it out, it was 6136 that starts from Guwahati and goes to Chennai. And the other aircraft was 6813 that goes from Mumbai to Guwahati. One was taking off, the other was landing. And it was almost as bad as it could have been. It could have been either a nosedive for an aircraft, or it could have been a bad takeoff for an aircraft. It was, of course, being identified as a possible mistake by the ATC also of not being able to communicate to the aircraft in the proper way. Why were they on the same runway at the same time, one landing and one takeoff? And of course, there were more than 300 people on both the aircraft. So it could have been a major accident, one going to Mumbai, one coming from Guwahati. And this, of course, with leaving 6 people injured, including 2 air hostesses who were trying to pacify the passengers who were there on board. And the fact that the Indigo aircraft, both of them are Indigo aircraft, it is also being identified or whether it was a mistake on the part of the professionals who were there on board. Despite the fact that the airport authorities have been working on war footing and trying to identify on whose mistake is it, or rather blunder, I would call it.
Do we know what the condition of the passengers is, and what is the status of the investigation? You've said that both these aircraft have been grounded, a very, very serious issue, because both of these are Indigo flights. Indigo happens to be the market leader in terms of commercial travel in the country at this point of time. Manogya, what do we know about the condition of the passengers and the investigation?
The condition of the passengers were more of trauma and the kind of anxiety that anyone would suffer with such kind of takeoff or landing on either of the aircraft. None of them were seriously injured, so none of them had to be hospitalized. But it has been extremely clear that there is a possible damage to the aircraft also for the kind of brakes that were pulled and, of course, the kind of landing and takeoff that has happened. We've been confirmed that there have been action being taken against the ATC staff, also being taken to task by the airport authorities, but it is yet to be identified because Guwahati is a very sensitive airport. We have to understand that it is of course the corridor to northeast, so anything in that sector cannot be taken extremely easily. One, because it is also a very near airbase, the other Air Force station, and of course the vicinity that it enjoys with the international border.
Absolutely. Manogya, while we're reporting this story, we're also awaiting some kind of an official word from Indigo itself. And I want to remind our viewers that Indigo, has actually been taking on and accepting relief material for the Assam floods. So there have been additional flights that have actually been, that have been flying into Assam at this point of time. And we don't know if this has something to do with that, but we'll keep a track of this story. Disturbing report. We'll update our viewers once we hear from the Airports Authority of India as well as Indigo Airlines. All right, more breaking news coming in. A plane has crash landed at the Dubai International Airport. Just a short while ago, an Emirates flight, a plane traveling from India, has crash landed at the Dubai International Airport as we speak, according to the Dubai and Government Media Office. The Emirates Airlines, Emirates is of course the official airline of the United Arab Emirates. The airline has confirmed the incident. This is the information that we're getting to you right now. Let's go straight across to India Today's Gaurav Sawant for more. Gaurav, an Emirates flight that has crash landed in Dubai. What more do we know?
Shiv, very, very sketchy details. It just says the information that's coming from Dubai authorities is that a plane traveling from India to Dubai crash landed at the international airport, and the government has confirmed that there has been an incident, and even as we speak, the reports are coming in that an evacuation was ordered immediately after the plane crash landed. We're still waiting for more details on what was the reason. Fire authorities are already deployed at the runway, which kind of indicates what was the emergency, perhaps a fire emergency, that fire tenders were also deployed. All passengers are safe. All passengers have been evacuated. This is what Dubai airport authorities have now been quoted as saying, Shiv.
Do we know what aircraft this was, Gaurav? There are pictures, coming up on social media already. It shows the aircraft completely on its side. It's collapsed completely on its side. Very, very dramatic pictures that we're getting in already. Do we know what kind of aircraft it was and what may have caused this?
Shiv, it's a big passenger liner. We don't know the make of the aircraft just as yet. But the spokesperson for Emirates has said that Emirates can confirm that an incident happened at the Dubai International Airport on the 3rd of August 2016 at 12:45 local time. And you can see plumes of smoke rising from the engine, from at least one of the engines of the aircraft. What they've also confirmed, like we were mentioning, fire tenders were rushed to the runway. There was a fire on board. So whether this fire was on board as soon as it came into land, when it crash landed, we are still waiting for details. Shiv, this is the information that has just come in.
I want to go across to India Today's Revathi Rajivan. We're going to put those images, very dramatic images that India Today already has of this crash landing of an Emirates aircraft at the Dubai airport with Indian passengers on board. Will be up on your screen momentarily. Revathi, this aircraft took off from Thiruvananthapuram apparently and has crash landed at the Dubai airport. What more information do we have?
Shiv, we know that at least more than 250 people were on board this flight, and the flight caught fire when it had landed on the runway. But from the information that we received is that all the passengers are safe and were rescued through the emergency exit. Now we wait for further information to see if there are any casualties in the incident. The flight landed at around 12:45 p.m. in Dubai, and the fire could have, the flight might have caught fire from the engine as it landed. But with the flight had more than 250 passengers, and they're all safe is the primary information that we receive. But we have to wait for further details to know what exactly is the condition.
Very, very dramatic images coming in of this particular aircraft. We already have, a sense of, that there were 250 people apparently on board. All of them are safe, but these terrifying images are coming in from eyewitnesses at the Dubai airport. 250 persons on board this particular aircraft. It appears to be, I can't really tell from the pictures, but it appears to be an A380 of Emirates Airlines. 250 people on board, all of them from Kerala, flying between Thiruvananthapuram and Dubai, which is a very, very busy aviation sector already. The information we're getting is that all the passengers, thankfully, have been evacuated safely. Dubai, an extremely busy airport. At this point of time, we're trying to get more information from the ground as well about precisely what may have happened. But here are the images of that aircraft. It's an Airbus A380 that has crash landed at the Dubai International Airport at this point of time. We're trying to get more information. Revathi, do we... All right, Revathi is going to be with us in just a moment. Gaurav, what more information do we have? This could have been an absolute calamity, but apparently everyone's been rescued safely.
Shiv, this could well have been a catastrophe, as you rightly pointed out. It could have been a calamity. And look at the amount of smoke that's rising from this aircraft. So the information that's now come in is, as soon as this aircraft came into land, there was an emergency. Fire tenders were rushed alongside the runway. The aircraft landed. emergency procedures were deployed immediately and all the passengers on board were safely evacuated. The good news is there were no injuries. That's what the Dubai authorities are saying just as yet. We're still waiting for details. What happened? It happened at 12:45 local time. Dubai International Airport, an Emirates flight, it came into land. There was an emergency. Plumes of smoke were rising. Fire tenders rushed in. People have been safely evacuated, but the aircraft is still on a side. It perhaps did not land, on the runway properly. What you also see is that the aircraft is tilted on one side, and huge plumes of smoke from that. Now, videos are also coming on social media. There are passenger videos perhaps taken from the departure lounge or the arrival lounge of the airport. So there are distant videos that are coming out. We're still waiting for more details, Shiv, from the authorities.
This was Emirates flight 521. This was the flight that took off at 10:19 a.m. from Thiruvananthapuram this morning and was to land around 12:50 p.m. It crash landed at the Dubai International Airport just a short while ago. 12:37 p.m. local time is when the aircraft crash landed. Huge plume of smoke coming in. It has collapsed on its right-hand side. The information that we're getting from our sources at the Dubai International Airport is that everybody has been thankfully evacuated safely. No information just yet about any injuries, but this has been an extremely close call. That aircraft could perhaps have blown up. It has collapsed on its right-hand side. There is no information just yet about what caused the aircraft to actually collapse. Was there some kind of a landing gear failure? Was there a loss of control during its final approach? What we do know at this point of time is that the aircraft has been surrounded by crash tenders and fire brigade personnel who are trying to put out the fire at this point of time. What we also know is that this aircraft is an Airbus. It's an Airbus aircraft that was flying between Thiruvananthapuram and Dubai, a very routine sector for the Emirates airline. Thousands of people travel on this very flight 521 on Emirates each week. It is a very busy sector between the Gulf and Kerala. Several millions of people from the state of Kerala itself live and work in the Gulf, a routine sector. But at this point of time, the investigation is focused on these dramatic pictures that we're getting to you first and exclusive here on India Today. There you have it, the plume of smoke rising from the right-hand side engines of Flight 521 that has crash landed. Took off at a little after 10 o'clock this morning, 10:19 a.m. to be precise, from the Thiruvananthapuram airport, and has crashed just a short while ago at about 12:37 p.m. local time at the Dubai International Airport. Gaurav Sawant is still with us. Gaurav, several things could have happened. We don't want to speculate at this point of time, but it is safe to imagine that there must have been some kind of an emergency, possibly some kind of structural failure, possibly some kind of loss of control during that very sensitive landing phase of the aircraft.
Shiv, even as we speak, information is coming in that 6 passengers were injured in this emergency crash landing of the aircraft. While all procedures were in place, but 6 passengers were injured and they've been hospitalized. That's the latest that is coming in from the Dubai airport authorities. What we can also now tell our viewers is when this aircraft came into land, crash tenders and emergency services were pressed into service. What we also know is other services came to a complete standstill. And this is the first video, Shiv, that has come out that India Today viewers are now watching. This is the video. Of course, this is the still picture of that aircraft. It's now on a side, as you can see, a starboard side engine, an Airbus, as you pointed out, engine flamed out. One engine flamed out. We're still waiting to hear more from authorities as it came in, that final approach before landing. 6 passengers, Shiv, injured in this incident. We're still waiting for more details.
Gaurav, I just wanted to correct myself. I stand corrected. That's a Boeing 777-300 aircraft that has apparently crashed. That's the information that I've just been able to pick up from the FlightAware website at this point of time. The Boeing 777 777-300 aircraft is the one that's been involved in this particular crash. These dramatic images coming in from the Dubai airport. 6 people, like Gaurav just pointed out, have been injured. They are being treated at this point of time, but a very, very disturbing development. What caused this aircraft to crash land? Any number of things could have happened in the air or once the aircraft actually landed. The Boeing 777 is a proven commercial airliner in service with many airlines around the world. The Dubai airport is a busy and professional airport that is really an aviation hub in the Middle East already, a very, very busy airport. What may have happened? Were there errors on the ground? Were there errors in the air? Was it some kind of a structural failure? Any number of possibilities actually exist at this point of time. What we can say is, thankfully, either by sheer fortune or by the professionalism of the flying crew on Emirates, this accident has resulted in no casualties. It very well could have resulted in casualties. These dramatic pictures coming in from there. This flight from Thiruvananthapuram to Dubai ending in a dramatic crash landing. That big plume of smoke indicating just where it has happened. All right, we're going to try and get in a local report from Dubai in just a moment from now. The information that we're continuing to get is that flight 521 took off at 10:17 a.m. This morning from Kerala, from Thiruvananthapuram, the state capital of Kerala, with about 250 passengers and crew on board. Routine flight was supposed to have landed at 12:50, landed earlier than scheduled at 12:37 p.m. local time, just after noon, when it crash landed. Several pictures already on social media doing the rounds, including up-close photographs of the actual mishap that's taken place there. Fire tenders, crash tenders, the police and airports authority personnel have surrounded the aircraft and cordoned off the area. There is no official information just yet about whether any of the runways have been shut off or any operations have been discontinued at the airport at this point of time. It is conceivably possible. I'm reading out from an Associated Press flash that's just come in here. The Middle East's biggest airline, Emirates, says an incident has happened at Dubai's main airport, as social media users are reporting smoke at the scene. Dubai-based Emirates says the incident happened at about 12:45 p.m. local time on Wednesday. Officials at the airline and the Dubai International Airport are declining to immediately provide any further details. The FlightAware website indicates that the aircraft is a Boeing 777-300 twin jet that has crashed. This particular flight was a distance of about 1,833 miles that was flown, and it has crash landed right after that flight. A routine flight that has ended in this dramatic crash landing at this point of time. Gaurav Sawant is still with us. Gaurav, the entire area has been cordoned off. Do we have more information about the airport itself? Apparently the Dubai airport and Emirates haven't come out with a comprehensive picture of what may have happened just yet. But do we know if the airport is closed? Are flights continuing? What do we know?
Shiv, we're just about to put out a very dramatic video on air that shows, and this is an amateur video, that shows how the aircraft comes in to land. It's an emergency landing, and suddenly there is a loud explosion. There is an explosion on board this flight. We're just about to put that video out in a moment, and then there's a huge ball of fire, and immediately after that the aircraft tilts to a side and comes to a standstill. Emergency services then take over, people are evacuated, and there are some injuries. But this is a very interesting aspect. As soon as the aircraft came into land, whether it was the engine come in contact, did the engine come in contact with the tarmac? Did that lead to an explosion? But there is a huge ball of fire suddenly, and after that, moments after that, people are evacuated. We are just about to put that video out in a moment, okay. Shiv. We will, our viewers
Gaurav,
will
I just want to quickly bring in Captain SS Panesar as well. We're going to get that video on our screens in just a moment. Very dramatic video capturing what really happened as the aircraft actually landed. Keep watching India Today right now. In a moment, we're going to put that video on your screen. Meanwhile, Captain SS Panesar, one of India's well-known aviation experts, is on the phone with us. Captain Panesar, what are you making of this? Very few details coming in just yet. Boeing 777 of Emirates crash landing in Dubai and collapsing on its side.
देखिए किसी टाइम भी
Yes. Captain Panis, sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Please go ahead, sir.
जब भी ड्यू एयर कंडीशनिंग वन हैज टू मेक एन इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग
Yes.
अब अगर उसने इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग
Okay, we've lost audio with Captain Panis, sir. We'll try and re-establish that link in just a moment. But we have information that a video clip actually depicting the accident is with us here first, an exclusive here on India Today. It's over to Gaurav, who's got that video. Gaurav.
Shiv, this is that amateur video, and just take a look at this. The aircraft is coming in to land, and there suddenly there is an explosion, and that we are unable to explain, and we'll have to wait for experts to tell us what exactly happened. Once again, we'll play that video out. The aircraft comes in. There you see the aircraft is slowly coming. Suddenly there is a loud explosion. There's a ball of fire, and this experts will need to explain. And this, of course, is a video that's been taken from a distance. What exactly happened at that point of time? We'll try and get closer to this video and play it out once again for the benefit of our viewers who are just joining us. This is a video that's been taken. It's an amateur video taken from a distance. A part of the wing gets blown away. It appears to be a part of the wing, Shiv. We're playing this video out once again. See, that's the explosion. And suddenly you notice something that flies off. What caused this remains to be seen. But Shiv, very, very dramatic images that are now coming out of the Dubai International Airport.
Very, very scary images of what that fireball must have been. You know, that kind of a smoke plume would definitely mean the engine or one of the fuel lines of that particular aircraft. Extremely sensitive situation for the aircraft to be in when it is landing. It is at an extremely high speed. We're going to put that video out, get you all the images, all these dramatic images coming in from the Dubai International Airport as Flight 521 Emirates flying from Kerala's Thiruvananthapuram to Dubai has crash landed. Nearly 300 passengers are all thankfully safe. Mercifully, an extremely close call. It could have been one of the worst aviation tragedies in history if something worse had happened. Thankfully, all people on board are actually safe. We're going to take a quick break. We're back with this breaking story right here on India Today.